The country is a part of me and I am a part of that country. I've told you about my life and how I managed to survive, and I will tell you about how I arrived in Israel. For my parents it was a surprise because at the time Israel, the situation was very bad. But I was not afraid of anything. My father immediately sent a telegram, come back quickly. I sent a telegram back, I'm here and I stay here. That war lasted only about 1 week. And then, I started to learn how to go on. And since then, I did fall in love with Israel. There were a lot of people who arrived, new immigrants, and the atmosphere was very good. We got milk every morning, and we were giving the money at the end of the week. No one ever stole a bottle of milk. I did like very, very much that way of life. I was never religious, but being here in Israel, I started, of course, to have the pesar with my husband's family and the kippur, and I started to learn a little more about the Jewish way of life. And for the birth of my second son, my mother came to Israel. She discovered that country, our way of life. It was such a different sort of life from the way we have been living in Europe. I have been very quickly feeling part of Israel, and she understood why I wanted to stay here. Outside there is 2 trees my father planted. One tree is clementinot and another of apricots. Each year we eat those fruits. It's already 40 and some years those trees were planted. It's part of the history of the family. When I arrived in Israel was, I think, a few 100,000 inhabitants. Very quickly, we got to 1 million, 2 millions. We got so many different people, so many different histories coming from everywhere. We are a country with so many different faces, and everyone did brought in a little bit of itself, and all that made Israel. There is a continuity in our lives. The life in France, and here in 1967 there was the 6-day war. For the first time we could go in the old city. At the entrance to the old city there were already the shops with souvenirs, and the first thing I did was to buy a cross to send to Madame Masona, a cross from the old city of Jerusalem. On the first Yom Ha'atzmaut after we got to Israel, my husband, he was going to the army, and he has been in the parade. 20 years later, my son Uri, he has been in the parade. We were so proud. I must say that in France, on the 14th of July, I never felt it. It was something important for me. Yom Ha'atzmaut here in Israel is every year something special. That country getting older and establishing itself more and more among the nations. And living here has been for me very important. I did fall in love with the country, with the town, Jerusalem, and I was getting to be a real Israeli. The country is a part of me and I am a part of that country. That is where it's important for me to go on living as long as possible. Now that I'm becoming an old lady, but I intend to be even older here.